Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another video. And in today's video, it is a mental health Monday, meaning we're going to be talking about something that has to do with mental health. And today, I'm going to be telling you and teaching you how you can overcome negative thoughts. Now, it is extremely hot outside. Okay, well, not extremely, but where I'm from, it's pretty hot outside. It's like, it's practically burning outside, and everything is just a little bit, hot right now. It doesn't matter. We're gonna continue with today's video. If it starts to get really bright, that's because I don't know, the sun is just like right in front of my face, or it's right in front of the window right now, so it might get a little bright in here, just to let you guys know. But anyways, so we're gonna be talking about how you can overcome negative thoughts. Now, what exactly is a negative thought? Well, you probably already know, but pretty much it's an unwanted thought that you have. And it could be unwanted about, multiple different things. Like maybe it's an unwanted thought of an event, or maybe it's just a negative thought about something you can do in the future, like maybe accomplishing your dreams and stuff. Like that's kind of what a negative thought is, and that's what I'm going to be talking about a lot today. Alright, so the first thing that I would recommend for you guys is to focus on what you are feeling right now. You need to focus on all the different aspects in your life, and you just kind of have to, sit there and focus and really try to think of what is creating this negative thought, and like what is creating this doubt that I have right now. If you are someone who overthinks a lot, which I mean, I overthink a ton before I do something, and I plan every little scenario that could happen, and it can be a lot of stress for someone. And I just want you guys to know that it is totally normal to overthink a lot of things, especially if it's something big that you're trying to do. So definitely what I would say, if you're having those negative thoughts and stuff, to really just kind of sit there and feel what you are feeling, and try to remember, like, okay, why are you doing this? What are the benefits of this? And why is this going to be helpful for me? Those are some of the 3 things you should think about when it comes to, sometimes getting those negative thoughts. I know a lot of people with depression sometimes suffer with stuff like this, where they just kind of look at the bad side of things, or the negative outcome of something that could happen. And I know it's a very hard thing sometimes, especially just for anybody. And if it's something like really big that you're kind of like half on, and you don't really know if it's gonna work, I know it can be a big deal. But that comes to my second recommendation for you guys, and that's to share what you are feeling with a friend. Maybe it's family, maybe it's whoever, your dog. Even your dog can be there for you if you need to talk about something. Friends and family are really good support systems, especially for when you're having, sometimes just bad thoughts about things, or maybe you're a bit concerned about what you want to do in the future, and you just kind of need someone, or that reassurance that what you're doing is like the right thing, and what you're doing is, something that you genuinely think is good. One of the hardest things I would say for me was like writing my book. When I was writing my book, and I was editing and stuff, it was very, very hard for me to kind of stay motivated to write my book, especially on the parts where I'm like, I don't really know what to write, and I just kind of had all these like unsure thoughts of what I wanted to do with certain things. And sometimes I would just feel unmotivated to work on my book. Like I wouldn't work on it for like a week straight, and that was a long time for me. And over time I started to get a lot better, and eventually I started working on it every single day, and well, now we have the final outcome, which I'm very happy about. So use that as an example of what those negative thoughts can do, because if I would have listened to them, I would have just dropped the whole thing entirely, and just decided to do something else that was a bit easier. But I'm like, you know what, I know this can be something very good for a lot of people, and for me, just to get out there for the world. And that's what kept me motivated. Another one I would say is think about all the good things that can come from what you are doing. And, try to think about the opposite of that negative thought to really capture everything you can do. If you are someone who likes making music, don't think of it like people are gonna hate this, no one's gonna like my music, it's gonna be total garbage. Try to think about it like, hey, this could be something really big. Maybe a lot of people see it and they all really like it, so I'm gonna put my heart and soul into it, even though this is my first song. Which is exactly what you should do, because you never know. Putting that extra amount of work into whatever it is that you're doing can mean all the difference. So I would 100% say put all your effort and all your work into something that you're doing, because you never know. That could make or break what you are trying to do for your future. Another thing I would recommend to someone who's having those negative thoughts is to treat yourself with something nice when you overcome those negative thoughts. Let's say you were really scared about school and you didn't know if you're going to be able to, do the amount of work that you needed to do, but you ended up doing the amount of work, but even better. Like maybe once you're done with school, just take some time to eat some candy or something. Go to the gas station, buy some candy or whatever. Maybe ask your parents and kind of keep them in the loop with things, just so they know that you did a really good job. And maybe you can get some candy, maybe you can get whatever it may be, and just treating yourself with nice things can always be beneficial for you. A lot of the times negative thoughts don't even happen. A lot of the times the absolute worst outcome that you can possibly think of doesn't happen, and sometimes you think about the negative so much that you almost trick yourself into thinking it's going to be negative, making you not try as hard or making you not care as much as to what you are doing. And there's obviously a lot of issues with that, as you can probably guess. Then you just don't want to do anything, you don't feel motivated to do anything, and having that negative thought for whatever it is can just be super detrimental to the thing you are trying to do. Especially if you are thinking about maybe doing business. If you're oh, I haven't gotten a sale and I've been doing this for 3 months and I haven't gotten a sale, right? You got to think about it in a different way, rather than, oh, I don't have a sale. It should be, what can I do to get more sales? What can I do to get more attention, to get more views on what I am doing? Obviously, it's not all about views, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But if you are someone who wants to gain an audience, obviously 1,000 views is going to be better than something like 10 views, right? So you have to think about it in a way of you're not going to start big. If you start big, then you're already going to end up failing, because you're not going to actually know what it's like to really grind for it. Another thing you can also do is draw something. One of the things that I thought was really good, for me at least, was I would write down some of the things I was worried about. I would write down those kind of overwhelming thoughts that I have in my head, and I would write them down on a piece of paper, and I would look at the ones that were in my control and the ones that were outside of my control. And that was mainly for not the thoughts that I was having, but more so what could happen, I guess. For example, one of the things I wrote about was something that my brother was going to be doing later in the day, right? And I was kind of a little bit worried about it, because I knew something could happen when I was there or whatever. And I wrote it down, and I'm is that in my control, and is it not in my control? And I realized that it wasn't in my control. So I just totally, I scratched that one off the list, because you can't control every aspect of your life. And if you're someone who's dealing with anxiety and stuff, you want control over every situation. You want to make sure that everything is the way that you want it to be. And the reality is that not everything is in your control, but some things are in your control, especially what you decide to worry about and not worry about. Eating well is also one of the best things that you can possibly do, because eating the nutritions that you need, eating like, different vitamins and stuff can be really good for you, because if your body is hooked up on a lot of sugar and a lot of caffeine and just a lot of like junk food like pizza or whatever, your body is not going to be able to function as properly as it would if it had, protein type stuff like maybe chicken, eggs, salad, whatever it may be, right? Like all those different things would be so much better compared to, all these like caffeine and sugar things. And I know, like we're all still kids, and we all just want to eat that kind of stuff. And I'll admit I'm not like the healthiest eater in the world, but I still do watch what I eat, and I make sure that what I eat is actually going to, be somewhat beneficial for me. I'm not saying you have to stay on a strict diet where you only eat stuff that is healthy for you, but what I am saying is just make sure, if you're like, if you realize, hey, I've been eating a lot of junk food today, try to eat something healthy, or try to like work out and do all that stuff, because having enough nutrition and stuff and having the right nutrition is going to help like your brain activity. It's going to help your body just in general. So make sure, if you're someone who is, who eats a lot of junk food, maybe just try to dim it down a little bit, because that could be one of the causes to those thoughts happening. Sometimes when you have too much caffeine, sometimes when you have too much sugar, your body kind of goes into hyperdrive, and sometimes you can't sleep, and not getting enough sleep is the worst thing for you. Trust me, sleep is like the number one important thing in the world, almost above food and water, because with sleep your body is able to rest and like reset itself. And sometimes if you are sitting on those thoughts for way too long, your body just becomes overwhelmed with all those different things that you're thinking about. So getting sleep is going to be one of the best things to do when overcoming those negative thoughts. And also the part about taking time out of your day, that's one of the things you can do for maybe like 10 minutes. And all it is 10 minutes of free time. And I would recommend, writing down stuff like maybe in the morning or in the afternoon, once your brain is, kind of up and running and stuff. And just make sure you write down what you are feeling and kind of the thoughts that you're having, and I promise you it will help you a lot more being able to see those thoughts in front of you, instead of having to like search in your mind for those different things that you're feeling. And it will definitely help you 100%. And also try to remember all the good thoughts you've had. Think about the times where you felt super motivated to do something, and let's just say you've been super motivated recently to draw stuff, right? Think about how motivated you are to draw that, and think about how amazing it is to do that. Now, if you were to think about it negatively, then you most likely wouldn't be wanting to do it. Now, I know keeping a like positive mindset 24/7 is like impossible, right? There are going to be challenges, especially, because especially if you're a teenager, because we're young and stuff, and we just have those ups and downs in life that sometimes are uncontrollable. But I promise you, if you realize all the good things and all the good thoughts that you've had and how they motivated you to do something, it will help you a lot in the long run. And just remember, like, even if you are having the negative thoughts, just try to think really positive, because one of the best things that I've done in my life is whenever I feel like overwhelmed by what's happening around me, or overwhelmed by the thoughts that I'm having, I always think about the good thoughts that I've had and how much it's helped me. And that sometimes helps the situation a bunch. But anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe down below. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently. I really appreciate that. We took a little bit of a break, Father's Day weekend and stuff, and we just took a bit of a break, but we are back, and we are going to upload a ton more. Trust me. Maybe not on this channel, but like definitely on TikTok and Instagram. So check those out. Check out Flip the Mind and check out my book as well. It's all on my website. Definitely check out my website. I would appreciate that a ton. And make sure you guys have a good day. Take care and peace.